play now. Cool. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Angelo Ferro. I'm the Senior BD Manager for Unity Analytics. Happy Monday, everyone. This is my first time presenting in a theater. I can't promise that what I'm going to share today will be as entertaining as Infinity War, but I'll do my best to try. So, one of Unity's core missions is to enable developer success. And so the way that we've done that is by offering free services on top of the Unity engine. Some of these services include Unity Analytics. That was launched about 3 years ago, and that service is natively built into the Unity engine. So what that means is that you don't need to integrate any SDKs. All you have to do is turn it on. You'll be able to understand how your players are interacting, what their attention is, and all the basic metrics that you need to understand your players. So that's the analytics. On the revenue side, we also have a couple of tools available to you to help you monetize your players. So we have Unity IP, and we also have Unity Ads. And so two new features that I want to touch on today. One is A/B testing, and the second feature is IP promo. So in addition to enabling developer success, another kind of core principle of Unity is to solve hard problems. And the problem that we're trying to solve today is how do you maximize your LTV? So here we have a very simple formula. LTV is some function of revenue and retention. And our belief is that if you can get either of these to increase, you can maximize your LTV. So I'm going to start with the left-hand side of the equation, which is revenue. And the tool that we're focused on today is an extension of Unity IP. So Unity IP is a service that helps developers instrument all their in-app purchases. We launched this at Unite Boston a couple years ago, and it's the only feature that I've seen in a keynote that got a standing ovation. And that's because this solves a really hard problem and pain point of having to maintain IP across multiple platforms. So just like Unity Editor, where you can build once and deploy to Apple, Google, Facebook, and all the other platforms, it's the same philosophy with Unity IP, where you can set up your transactions once, and you don't have to worry if Google Play or if Apple changes their APIs, because we have a dedicated team of engineers that are focused on making sure that Unity IP is kept up to date. So when we first launched a couple years ago, the focus for Unity IP was to get as many platforms as possible. And so here you can see all the different platforms that we support. And an extension of that I'm happy to announce today is called IP Promo. So IP Promo is a brand new service, and it's built on top of our Unity Ads offering. So what exactly is it? You can think of it as basically another ad unit or another ad placement. And the philosophy behind IP Promo is that we believe that if you have additional opportunities to surface your in-app purchases to your players, and you do it in a way that doesn't interrupt with the gameplay and actually flows nicely, you can actually increase your monetization and your LTV. So this is an example here. We have this really cute example of a cat. It says one meow mint. You need 20 more cat crystals to reach the next level. So you can kind of think about IP promo as similar to a rewarded video, where if you instrument it the right way, I think the players, where it doesn't interrupt and it's not jarring and it's seamless with the player experience, you can actually gain incremental revenue. And so that's one of the highlights of IP promo. Number one, it's increased revenue. Number two, it's a super simple setup. If you're already using the Unity Ads SDK, it's already built into that, so no additional work is required. And number three, it really leverages Unity's data advantage. You saw through a highlight reel that Unity Ads is a huge platform, and so we have a dedicated team with data scientists, data analysts, all types of data wizards that are focused on improving our algorithms so that we can smartly serve the best promotion to a player, whether that's a brand experience, whether that's a rewarded video, or whether that's an IP promotion. So here are some examples of some best practices that we've seen so far. On the top left, you can see a promotional pack. So this would be a good placement to have when the player is playing for the first time. Maybe when they complete the tutorial or the first level, you hit them up with a starter or booster pack. We've also seen success with developers taking advantage of the different seasons, and so seasonal specials. You can also use limited time offers, which we have here on the right side. So that's IIP promo really quickly. If you're interested in that, it's already available. Just go to unity.com/IIP-promo. So that's the revenue side of the equation. Let's talk about the other side, which is retention. So we believe that if you can get your players spending and if you can get your players playing the game longer, the higher the probability that they will spend and that you can maximize your LTV on them. So to solve the problem of retention, what we found is that most free-to-play games today are run as a live ops service. So what that means is that in order to keep players engaged, you always have to push out new content, new updates, new skins to keep the gameplay fresh and exciting. So last year, we tackled this problem with a new feature called remote settings. And what remote settings lets you do as a developer is basically be able to serve different configurations for different experiences to your players without having to create a new build, do the Q&A, and ship it to the App Store and wait for your players to download the game. So in this diagram here, you can see on the left side we have config by segments. And in this example, the key that we set up is the enemy type, and we're leveraging Unity Analytics segmentation. So in this example, our players in China, they will get the dragon, whereas our players all over who are in China will get the lion. So the beauty of remote settings is that it's already built into the Unity engine. So you can set up what your different key value pairs are in the editor. And then on the web dashboard, which I'll show you in just a few minutes, you can set up your different configurations. And then through our dashboard, you can sync that to our config server. And so the next time a player plays your game, basically the players that are playing in China will get the dragon enemy type, whereas the players who are playing anywhere else in the world will get the lion type. So that was view one of remote settings. And but let's say instead of giving all the players in China the dragon, maybe you want to give everyone in the world a dragon, but you're not sure if that will resonate more with players, the dragon or the lion. So I'm excited to announce that we have a brand new feature, and that's A/B testing, and that's layered on top of our remote settings feature. So some highlights for A/B testing: it's super easy to set up, just like everything that I've talked about so far. It's natively integrated, it's no SDKs required, and it's completely free. A/B testing allows you to quickly roll out changes through our web dashboard, and it's seamlessly integrated with analytics. So you can view all the metrics, all the data points, see how your testing is working, all on the same dashboard. How to set it up is really simple. There's 5 simple steps, which I'll show you guys shortly. Number 1 is you set up an experiment. Number 2, you add your different variants. You're basically creating your 2 different groups. For number 3, you define the treatments, basically what experience each group is going to get. Then you run the experiment, and then you basically let us do all our behind-the-scenes magic, and then we do all the reporting for you. And that'll be shown on the dashboard. So I'm going to jump into a quick dashboard demo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change, we're going to create an A/B test for this game called Fruit Slasher 3D. So this is an actual game that our analytics team owns. If you want, you can actually download it on the iOS App Store. And here I'm going to switch over. So now this is the analytics dashboard. And so we're looking at the Fruit Slasher project. And the feature that I'm focused on now is called remote settings. And so I'm going to quickly walk through that. Here is where, as a developer, you can set up your different configurations and also determine which sets of users get which experience. So on the top left here, you can distinguish between a development or a release build. Here we're focused on updating the release build, and down here are all the different keys that we have. So Fruit Slasher is a game where the object of the game is to slash fruit. And here in our configs, we can manipulate what types of fruit appear more frequently. So we have apples, bananas, carambolas, kiwis, and oranges. We can also segment. So right now, all the players in our game are getting apples. We can change it so that maybe only our players in Japan get apples. And then finally here is our value. So remote settings supports integers, strings, and Boolean values. So these are remote settings, and then so if you wanted to set this up, you just edit the settings here and hit sync, and that'll sync to our config server. so that the next time a player opens up your app, depending on which segment they fall in, they would get this specific config. But I'm going to jump over to our A/B testing feature. And so this is our demo app, so we have a lot of test projects or a lot of A/B tests here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an experiment, and I'm going to name this the fruit experiment. So the hypothesis that we want to test here is, let's see if maybe if we change a variety of fruits that appear, we might get different results from our players. So I'm going to walk you through how to set this up. The first is that you select an experiment goal. So we just launched this feature a couple weeks ago, and so our goals are focused on retention. You can maximize either day 1 or day 7 retention. This is just for the first iteration. In future iterations, we'll be able to adjust other metrics, including IAP or ARPDAU revenue metrics. So for this first goal, I'm going to set day 1 retention. That's something that we want to monetize. Or sorry, that's really a metric that we want to optimize. I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to create our different variants. So the control group is the blue line. Let's create 3 different variants. We'll have the more apples group. We'll have a more bananas group, and we'll have more oranges group. So these are different segments. You can change the allocation. By default, we'll just do equal allocations. For this one, we'll have the control set at 25%, and all the other segments will also be at 25%. So we hit save here, and then here, next up is to add a treatment. And so treatment is basically defining what experiences or what configs each segment will get. So I'm going to add a treatment, and I'm going to select apples, bananas, and oranges. So these correspond to the key value pairs that I showed you in the remote settings tab. So for the control group, so apples, bananas, and oranges, they all have a integer value. And the way that we set up the game is that the higher the number, the more likely the fruit will appear in the game. So in our control group, we'll set it equal, so apples, bananas, and oranges will appear equally. For the more apple segment, we'll do 20, 1, and 1, and we'll do the same thing for bananas. So we'll have 1, 20, and then for more oranges, we'll have, let's see, 1, 1, and then 20. So just to recap, what I've done is I've created 4 different groups. We have a control, which is going to get standard fruit distribution, and then we have specialized groups that are going to get more apples, or more bananas, or more oranges. I'm going to hit save right here, and that's all you need to do in order to get your experiment started. And then all you have to do next is just start your experiment. So if you click start your experiment, so this will let me, this is a good point. So we have another experiment running in the background, and that experiment has the same key. So you can run multiple experiments. The only thing is that you can't have multiple experiments running the same keys. So if we didn't have the same keys and I started my experiment, basically players would be randomly assigned one of these different groups. And so a player gets assigned one of these different groups, and then we do all the kind of calculations analysis in the background. And once you've had a statistically significant number of players through each group or through each experiment, we'll share the results down here in the report, and you'll be able to see which of the 4 experiments had the highest increase in day 1 retention. So I'm going to jump back to the deck right here. So that was the A/B testing demo for Fruit Slasher. That feature is available today. So if you're using Unity Analytics already, all you have to do is go to the Analytics dashboard. It's a feature of A/B testing. And all you have to do is set up remote settings, and remote settings is already built into the engine as well. So those are just 2 features that we've launched recently with the goal of, again, optimizing revenue and optimizing retention to help you guys make more money. Those features are available today, so I highly encourage you guys to test out RFP promo and A/B testing. The way that we kind of do product development at Unity is we launch the beta. We want to get feedback from our customers, so I highly encourage you guys to test out these new features and then tell us what you want. For A/B testing, what's on the roadmap is being able to optimize for different metrics, so not just retention, also engagement, also monetization. So that's it. So with that, do I have time to take questions?
Well, we started you about 5 minutes late, so we'll catch up that time over lunch break. So if anyone else has a question, I'll happily ask them if anyone doesn't. Anyone want to ask a question? I'll come running around and give you a mic. You're all shy this morning. I know. Oh, okay, that's more like it. Right, I'll come down. I think the gentleman at the back got slightly quicker, so I'm going to come running up here. I always like to do the micro because I get more exercise that way.
For the segmentation, you were doing it on a country basis. What if your game is US only at the moment? How granular can you get? Can you go by city, state?
So the question is about the segmentation. So with Unity Analytics, you can segment by country, and that's based off the IP address. So what we do is we take the IP address and then we map it quickly to the country. We wouldn't be able to go any more granular than that, unfortunately. And then there's also some regulations coming out that would prevent us from going more granular. So country level is the most granular we can go. But that said, we do have, you can add additional filters to that. So if you want to segment users in China who had completed level 3 or had spent $10 or whatever, there's additional levers that you can do to segment your audience more finely.
I started out with Unreal back in 2005, and I've been using Unity for the past few years, and I'm still kind of wondering if I made the right choice. So I was wondering if you could tell me why Unity rocks and why Unreal sucks.
So, the only thing I can say is that, so I'm part of the analytics team, and so the key differentiator between, at least on the services side, between Unity and Unreal is that Unity has a lot of focus on the services. So like Unity Ads, Unity Analytics, Unity IP, all that stuff is already built in, and I think it's because our core mission as Unity is to enable developer success. So we thought, okay, game development doesn't end once you build the game, right? Especially if you're doing a free-to-play mobile game, in order to be successful, you have to do a bunch of stuff after the game's already launched, and that's where kind of my team is brought into play, where we have additional services to help you for the lifetime of the game, not just when you're developing it.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I'm no longer at Unity, so I'm a little bit less biased than I used to be. But I think it's worth looking at why you're, what you're doing with your engine and what you're doing for your product and why you're doing it. With the Unreal side of it, there is that, it's completely free to get access to, but you're going to have that long-term 5% which you're going to have to keep paying out, which is one of those things to think about. But also, you're looking at your workflow. At the end of the day, for me, the reason why the projects that I'm working on mostly currently Unity are, in most circumstances, the advantages I can get from using C++ aren't outweighed by the business advantages of being able to do back-end, particularly with some of the stuff that you're just talking about. You know, I've been looking forward to getting the AV stuff because it makes my job as running the game service live much easier. But that's my, again, I'm unbiased, but that's the reason why I still stick with Unity personally. And on that note, Andrew, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's always great being the first person on, and I think you're an amazing job. Thank you very much.